right, well, hi everyone. I'm Sarah Spieler. I am the product marketer for Microsoft Places. Excited today to take you through an overview of the product. We'll also touch on this concept of the AI-powered workplace, and then we'll give a preview at some features that are going to be hitting the public roadmap this week. And then finally, we'll leave some time towards the end for Q&A. And please feel free to throw questions in the chat as we go along. All right, so to start out, I think we've all seen over the last 18 months, even over the last 2 years, that there have really been two dominant trends that have reshaped every aspect of how we work. And those two trends have been flexible work, especially as organizations have navigated how they want their employees to spend their time and where they want their employees to spend their time post-pandemic. And then secondly, and this is probably the most obvious statement, AI is of course transforming everything about how and where we work as well. And on the AI front, it's not only that AI is driving tremendous transformation within our organizations, but it's really coming to individuals' everyday work lives in a really big way. In fact, upwards of 75% of people are already using AI at work in some form or fashion. This could be through enterprise level tools like a Copilot. This could also be through forums like ChatGPT or others. But what is perhaps most striking about this stat is that about half of these people only started using AI at work less than 6 months ago. So it's clear that the pace of change is moving just incredibly quickly, and we only expect to see adoption increase dramatically over the coming months as well. So again, probably an obvious statement, but it's abundantly clear that AI is transforming every aspect of work, especially when it comes to how we work. But it's not only transforming how we work, it's also starting to reshape where work gets done. And that's really where Places comes into play. But before we talk specifically about Places, I do want to touch on this concept of the AI-powered workplace. And this is really a new category of emerging technology solutions that start to apply the power of AI to the workplace by unlocking new levels of coordination, of modernization, and optimization. And this brings together tools like Copilot, like Teams, like Places all together to really ultimately reimagine the world of flexible work and truly start to enhance that workplace experience. Now, when we think about the AI-powered workplace, we really start to think about three pillars of value that these types of solutions can start to deliver on. The first is all around helping end users start to coordinate with one another in a more productive way. And this is not only users coordinating with one another, but also interacting with the physical workspace through booking meeting rooms or booking desks, making arrangements to meet in person with colleagues, and so on. The second pillar that we really anchor on when we talk about the AI-powered workplace is this idea of modernizing intelligently. And this is really all around bringing the physical workspace kind of out of the era when folks were spending 5 days a week in the office and were only communicating with people in their physical environment, but really starting to retrofit that workspace in a way that is more modern and that better accommodates the needs of a hybrid workforce. So this is where you'll start to see some different features and products related to enhancing the meeting experience, helping collaborate, and then starting to bring in things like workplace presence signals that help users engage with their physical workspace in a new and different way. And then finally, the third pillar that we think about when it comes to the AI-powered workplace is all around optimization and how these tools can start to help administrators really optimize where work happens by offering rich insights and recommendations that can be actioned on immediately. So again, you'll hear us talk about this idea of the AI-powered workplace in many different forums, but this is really a category that we see as really starting to emerge and that we expect will grow significantly over time. And it would probably be worth doubling down on this for just a moment. When we think about the AI-powered workplace, of course, software solutions like Microsoft Places play a critical role, but it's not just about the software. It's really a category where we start to see this interaction between things like software, peripherals, through features like bookable desks, and even moving kind of into the hardware and sensor space with team rooms as well. So I think this idea of integration across software, peripherals, hardware, and sensors really starts to come to life. And it's these kind of three legs of the stool that start to work together to bring this new and different workplace experience to life. So with that, we'll double click into all things Microsoft Places. And as many of you have probably already heard, Places is an AI-powered workplace app that really helps to reimagine flexible work. And today we'll explore Places through the same three pillars that we just talked about with the AI-powered workplace, those pillars being coordinate, modernize, and optimize. Oops. I'm going to flip to a video next. If folks could just give me a thumbs up if you can hear the video audio, that would be great.
AI continues to improve the way we work. But where to work still isn't clear.
Oh, you're all in the office today.
Deciding when to go into the office or finding the right space to work can be equally challenging. With the introduction of Places across Microsoft 365, AI can now help solve hybrid work. From your calendar, Places shows when your coworkers will be in the office, and Copilot recommends when and why you should go in, making it simple to coordinate time with your coworkers, so you can adjust your schedule and check in to maximize in-person connections. As a team leader, you now have a new way to recommend and adjust the best work patterns for your team. Places makes it easy to find the right place to work at the right times with the right people. In Teams, Places lets you take advantage of being in the same building by creating meaningful moments to connect with coworkers nearby. And it's integrated into the Microsoft 365 apps that you use every day. On top of all that, Places helps companies optimize spaces and costs to make your office more efficient and sustainable. Transform your spaces into engaging places, at home, in the office, and everywhere in between.
Okay. Well, that was a Places overview in about 90 seconds, but we'll take the next few minutes to do a deeper dive into some of the key features and functions. So first things first, I did want to call out Places is highly embedded within the M365 day-to-day experience, which we hear from end users is really important. So whether you are engaging with Places through Outlook, new Outlook, or the new calendar in Teams, you will have a consistent experience across both platforms. And again, our goal is really to embed all of the Places workflows directly within that flow of work where we know users are already spending significant chunks of their day. It's not another app, it's not another integration, it's just simply deeply embedded within the surfaces that they use on a day-to-day basis. So before we get into the features, I'll just cover off on some kind of the why Microsoft Places stories. From an end user perspective, Places is really all about delivering a more meaningful, more productive in-office experience. And on the IT admin front, it's all about streamlining the back end of these operations. And to double click into each of these, on the end user front, we really see Places as bringing this more productive in-office experience to life because it is directly integrated into Teams and Outlook. It's directly integrated into the flow of work. Again, no separate apps, no separate integrations required. Secondly, Places makes it really easy and effortless to connect with colleagues face-to-face, especially leveraging features like workplace presence and work plans, which we'll get into in just a moment. Places also makes it really fast and really easy to book the right space for the right work. We offer a number of different booking modalities, so it's as simple in some instances as booking a room or a desk in as little as one click, which is great if you're on the go. Conversely, we also offer options to use the Places Finder to select rooms based on hyper-specific criteria. Think things like filtering based on a room's AV equipment or the capacity or the floor. We really offer options to triangulate all of those different booking variables into a really seamless experience. And then finally, Places really creates the foundation for location and spatial signals that then start to fuel new co-pilot scenarios that can help start to assist with things like scheduling, like managing conference room bookings, and so on. So we're really excited about the co-pilot value that Places also starts to bring to the table there. And then on the IT admin front, again, Places is really all about streamlining that back-end experience. And to get more into depth on that, Places really starts to consolidate point solutions into one single unified flexible work solution that fits directly within the M365 stack. Which, that ultimately translates to being more cost effective. There's no need to maintain multiple point solutions or buy new hardware. On a similar note, it's easy to maintain. There's a single point of integration. And then finally, it offers greater visibility into space occupancy and utilization. And with help from Copilot, there's a lot less guesswork required to understand what all of that data is telling you, so that you can stay more focused on taking action to further optimize the way that your spaces are used. And then finally, for everyone, we see that there's, of course, a benefit from being a part of M365's enterprise-grade security, privacy, and compliance. And then I touched on this a bit, but to go into it a little bit more and just reiterate, the connection with Copilot and the ability to connect location and spatial signals into the M365 graph is really exciting, and we're really excited to continue to build on all the different things that Copilot can do once those signals are part of that graph. So with that, let's talk a little bit about features. So I'll start with just a quick overview of which features are available with which licenses, and then we'll double click into a number of features, and I'll show screens and a bit more detail related to each. So what you'll see here, these are the core Places features that are available with all qualifying M365 subscriptions. And this feature set is really focused around that coordination pillar, really helping people to start that kind of foundational location signal sharing, and start to take advantage of some of these kind of embedded experiences that, again, happen within the Outlook and Teams experience. So we've got work plans. Work plans are one of the most critical features for users to start to use to enable that coordination value. So within your work plan, you can essentially share when you plan to be working remotely versus when you plan to be in the office. For anyone who has ever had to send a late night text to a coworker saying, hey, when are you going to be in the office this week? This work plan offers you the opportunity to set that schedule within Outlook and within Teams, which then offers your colleagues visibility on when you're going to be in. So again, really helping that coordination value. This work plan also starts to power some of the Copilot functionality that we'll talk about in a little bit. Within this core set of features, there are also a couple of features that are associated with the Outlook meeting event forms. One of these is in-person events. You have the opportunity to flag within the meeting invite as a meeting organizer. You can flag whether an event is intended to be in person. And this toggle starts to then allow you to accept hybrid RSVPs. So when individuals accept the meeting invite, they can let you know whether they plan to participate in person or virtually. Again, this is a really convenient feature for meeting organizers, especially when it comes to things like arranging catering or making sure that you've got the right size room booked based on who's going to be there in person versus who will be there virtually. Next, we've got the Places card. Think of the Places card as your one-stop shop on the Outlook and Teams calendar that will help you know who's coming into the office. It's where you can start to do things like quick book spaces, adjust your location plan, and so on. We'll go into this in more detail in just a couple of minutes. And then finally, workplace presence. Again, this is a location signal where you can start to set in real time whether you're in the office or whether you are working remotely. This is a great feature, again, for connecting with folks directly in the office because it offers that level of visibility and helps you identify where people are working. Are they working in a specific building? Again, really helps facilitate both planned but also more spontaneous meetups as well. So that's the core feature set. Again, all of these features are available with qualifying M365 subscriptions. Next, we'll talk about the Places premium features, and these all require a Teams premium license to access. And this is really where you start to get into some of our more advanced room and desk booking capabilities. This is also where you'll start to unlock some of our analytics features, as well as some features geared more towards team leaders as well. I'll just very briefly run through this list and then we'll double back on each of these in more detail as well. Places Finder is really the hub for booking desks and rooms. This is where, again, you can get that really enriched room booking experience where you can filter in depth based on exactly what you need. Intelligent suggestions, these are recommendations that users will start to see, recommending that they update their work location or that they quick book suggested rooms and kind of giving other helpful prompts and hints along the way. The Places Explorer offers really a singular point of view of the people, spaces, and experiences that are happening at each workplace location. Space Analytics, this is where you start to get into some of that admin value that starts to bring together intent and actual occupancy and utilization data. Auto release policies, these allow reserved rooms to be automatically freed up if they are not occupied, even though they might be booked. Individual desk booking, we know this is very top of mind for many customers. This enables folks to book individual desks based on a number of different parameters. Team guidance, this is one that's geared more towards team leaders. This enables leaders to set expectations on when they would like to see their teams in the office, and then they can kind of set this rhythm of business directly within that Outlook and Teams calendar. So it's very clear when teams are expected to be in, and individual team members will get reminders on their calendar as well to align to when those in-office days are expected to happen. And then finally, QuickBook. This doubles back to this kind of one-click booking experience where you'll see in the Places card that you'll see a prompt to QuickBook meeting rooms or desks in the event that you do not already have them booked. So those are the premium features. Again, those require a Teams premium license to utilize. And then finally, I'll touch on a couple of our key Copilot features. So users that have Copilot licenses will also have access to the following Places features. The first is called Managed Booking. With this feature, anytime you book a room for either a recurring meeting or a one-time meeting, Copilot will manage that room booking in the event that that room happens to decline or the schedule changes. Copilot will ensure that you have a comparable room for that meeting and will automatically rebook it on your behalf. Secondly, we have recommended in-office days, which is what you see here in this screen grab. This is where Copilot will triangulate when you have in-person meetings scheduled, when your teammates plan to be in the office, and so on. And Copilot will recommend which are the best days for you to come in so that you can maximize your time in the office and ensure you are connecting with the right people. And then finally, this last feature, space analytics explanation. I will note this does require a Teams Premium license as well as a Copilot license. This is where Copilot starts to ingest the occupancy and utilization insights that are within your space analytics portal and start to make recommendations and explanations about what's happening in the data and how you can adjust accordingly. So again, this helps you get spend less time kind of crunching the numbers and more time moving towards action based on those insights. So those are the features in a very quick nutshell. I will now walk through each of them in a little bit more detail so you can get a better sense for how they start to come to life within the product. So we'll start again by talking about the features that support the coordinate pillar. And these again are really focused on helping connect people for those more meaningful, more productive in-office interactions. The first of these features is a work plan. This is how you set up your work plan within the Teams or Outlook calendar. There is a location icon at the top of each day on the calendar that you click on, and then you'll be walked through a series of prompts to indicate when you plan to be in the office versus when you plan to be working remotely. You can select a specific office that you plan to be in, and while many users look at setting their work plan as kind of a one-time experience, it is important to note that the work plan can be updated in real time as needed. You can also adjust the kind of overarching cadence of days that you expect to be in the office versus remote. You can also do that from a kind of broader calendaring perspective as well. But again, this work plan is really important because this is the signal that you are giving that indicates to your colleagues when you plan to be in the office. So this is where a lot of that key coordination value starts to stem from. So next, and this is within the Places app, there is this view here where you can start to share, where you'll be working with your selected collaborators. You'll see here there's the option to confirm your plan for the day. You can also see who else plans to be in the office on a given day, which is really useful. And then finally, you'll see additional prompts related to booking that help you identify when you may need a room or a desk booked. So again, when it comes to facilitating these in-person moments that matter, it's easier than ever to invite people to in-person events and indicate within that event form that it is going to be an in-person event. And again, this also triggers the hybrid RSVP option so that event invitees can respond based on how they plan to attend. Makes it really easy for meeting planners to see who's going to be there in person, but it also gives visibility to everyone on the invite as to who is going to be there as well. I also think just a kind of small scenario that this is really useful for is, say you've got someone that you need, you don't need a full meeting with them, you just need to have a 5-minute face-to-face conversation. This is a great way where you can start to see, hey, they're attending the same meeting as me in person. Let me grab them 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after. So that's that. Next up is team guidance. So this is again where leaders can start to offer guidance to their teams as when they should plan to be in the office and plan to be working together versus which are kind of remote friendly days. So the view that you see here, this is within the Places app. This is where leaders can indicate when they would like to have kind of formal guidance issued to their teams about when to be in the office. That guidance, once it is published within the Places app, then shows up on individuals' calendars as a reminder so that they, again, have it really easy to access, really easy to see at a glance when you're expected to be in the office. These teams can also be established at any level, so it doesn't necessarily need to be a team within your direct reporting line. You can set up different work groups that then offer the opportunity to set this guidance as well. So say you have a cross-functional team where nobody reports up through the same chain, it's just as easy to set up a work group so that you can coordinate on which day of the week you want to be in the office and do that shared work. Okay, so back to planning your workday, and this is where we'll start to see the places card, which is what you see here on the screen. So the places card is accessible at the top of each day on your calendar. There's an icon on the right-hand side of the day. Click into this, and this is where you will start to see the places card. It will reflect where you plan to work for the day based on your work plan. It will show you who else plans to be in the office. It will offer intelligent suggestions, which may be, say it's a day you're planning to work remotely. It could have, a recommendation that, hey, you've got an in-person event. This is a great day for you to come in. It'll offer suggestions for things like booking rooms and booking meetings and so on. So this places card is really a great way to start to kind of get a sense for what's going on that day. And again, it's directly involved or directly embedded in that overarching calendar experience. And similarly, we have for Copilot users, we have recommended in-office days. This is where Copilot will reason over your calendar, identify who else is coming in, identify whether you have in-person meetings, and based on that, Copilot will recommend if it's a particularly good day to come in. Copilot makes it really easy. If you do decide, hey, yeah, that's a day I want to come in one click, you can update your work plan so that your colleagues have visibility to that as well. All right, so let's get into room booking a bit. So what you see here is a view of the Places Finder within the Places app. And again, the Places Finder is really your main hub for booking space. And within the Places Finder, you'll see not only do you get a list of available rooms, but you also can cruise through photos, you can see floor plans, again, you can see what the AV setup is and so on. So it's a really enriched booking experience, and it makes it very easy to find the perfect room based on your individual needs and circumstances. Similarly, Places includes individual desk booking. You can browse for additional desks by neighborhood and again, cruise to see what the technology available is. I'll come back to desk booking in a few minutes because we've got some exciting features that are on the roadmap that are coming between now and the end of June. So we'll come back to desk booking and go into more detail when we get to the roadmap. Okay, so in terms of kind of enhancing that booking experience, you'll also start to see intelligent booking recommendations. These are accessible from that Places card that we just saw when you hit Quick Book. Essentially, Places will recommend available rooms to you, and you can either flip through every single option and pick the perfect one, or you can just kind of select all, and Places will automatically book the right room for you. Again, when it comes to booking, we've also got this Copilot managed booking feature available for those that have Copilot licenses. With this, once you have selected your room and enabled this Copilot rebooking toggle, anytime the schedule changes, the meeting moves, the room declines, or there's some other challenge with room availability, Copilot will automatically rebook a room on your behalf. It will be a comparable room in terms of specs, and then it will trigger an update to the meeting notification as well, so that everybody knows where the new room is, all done without you having to lift a finger, which is great. Okay, so that was our kind of coordinate pillar. We'll turn now to these modernization features. All right, so first things first, when it comes to the Places Explorer, this is within the Places app, and this is really where you can start to get a snapshot of the people, spaces, and experiences that are happening at a building level. You can start to book rooms from the Places Explorer or from desks and start to see your schedule for the day. So again, this is a great place to just get more information about what's happening in your space at a given time. You'll also start to see these different workplace presence opportunities to update your workplace presence. So what you see on the screen here, for example, is a check-in button where you can start to update your workplace presence in real time. When you get to the office, you'll check in, and that will let your colleagues know that you've arrived for the day and that you're around and available. And again, we think this really contributes to this more modern office experience because it makes it just really easy to find your colleagues, rather than having to lurk outside a conference room door waiting for someone to wrap up, or running circles around the floor trying to find someone. This just makes it very, very easy to connect and helps facilitate those more kind of off the cuff interactions. And then finally, we'll turn towards the optimization features. So there are a number of different reports available within Place's Space Analytics. This is where you can start to get a sense for what's happening at a building level, a room level, and a desk level. And you can also start to take a look at different room attributes, things like size, sensors, capabilities. And this is really where you can start to understand how you're performing in terms of space occupancy and utilization. Are you at full capacity all day, every day? Do you have certain times or days that are, more where you have more traffic than others? What are those patterns that are really driving how the workspace is used? And these can really help you start to identify opportunities to improve. So again, utilization is a major theme. You'll also see these actionable insights start to surface that can help inform how you adjust your space based on what is showing up in the data. Again, this is really helpful when it comes to spotting trends and different patterns. This is also where you can start to set auto release policies. We know these are very, very important from an administrative perspective. And these enable rooms that are reserved but not being used after a given window of time. They can then be released for others to use as well. So we know this is really important, especially when it comes to kind of, again, keeping that space optimization and utilization in the right balance. Copilot, again, also offers explanations for the data that you're seeing in these basic analytics dashboards. Copilot helps to kind of demystify what's happening in the data, what the trends are. So again, you can spend your time focused more on the action that you need to take and less time decoding the data. So that wraps up kind of the classic feature set. I'll pivot quickly into a look ahead at what is coming to the public roadmap. This is a tiny peek ahead. Most of these items will be posted to the public roadmap by the end of this week, but we're very excited. We know there's been a lot of customer demand for many of these, so very excited to give you all a peek as well. So in terms of kind of a look ahead, we are focusing over the next couple of months on shipping new features in 3 key areas. The first is workplace presence and making it really easy and seamless to coordinate with colleagues. The second set of features is all around room and desk booking, making that process of finding and booking the right space as easy, intuitive, and user-friendly as possible. And then finally, we really want to enhance the admin experience and make it easier to onboard to places and then manage your deployment on an ongoing basis. So first things first, in the workplace presence space, a very exciting new feature coming here is it enables you to automatically update your work location when you connect to the office Wi-Fi. So this kind of takes that manual step of having to check in or manually go to your places card to update your presence. This feature takes that totally out of the process. As soon as you turn on your laptop and you connect to the office Wi-Fi, your building location will be noted within your workplace presence. So it'll be super easy for your colleagues to start to connect with you in person. And again, you don't have to lift a finger, which is great. Secondly, and related to workplace presence, we're really excited to introduce a feature that you saw a bit in the video called Chat at Nearby. This feature uses that workplace signal or workplace presence signal to identify who is in the same building as you. So for example, if you have a Teams chat with your team, you all are spread across 3 different buildings, you can go into that team chat and say, hey, does anybody want to grab lunch? And if you tag at nearby in that message, only the people that are in your building will, or I shouldn't say only, the people that are in your building and that meet that nearby qualification will receive a notification as if they themselves have been tagged in that message. So it makes it really easy to connect with people. And again, just very easy to pinpoint who's going to be around. It makes it easy to coordinate things like lunches or coffees or other interactions where that physical proximity is really important. Next up on room booking, and there's a GIF in there that is not showing up. I'm happy to drop the GIF for this in the chat at the end. But this is a new feature called Room Recommender, and this feature makes it really easy to find and book meeting rooms in the event that you have forgotten to do so. So with Room Recommender, if you have an upcoming in-person meeting and there are 2 or more people that are in the same physical location, again, pulling from that workplace presence and work plan signal, Room Recommender identifies, hey, you don't have a room, there's multiple people that are in the same location. Room Recommender then recommends a room that will accommodate your group size and that is available at the meeting time. It will do this in the Teams meeting chat. And it's as simple as just one click to hit reserve. The chat is updated with the meeting location, as is the meeting invite as well. So again, this is a great one for folks that forget to book meeting rooms. Room Recommender kind of takes that mental load off of you and does the work for you. So next up, we have a number of enhancements coming to desk booking between now and the end of June. The first set of updates related to desk booking are all around finding and booking desks from a map. So you'll see here, this is an example of this kind of maps first experience with support for fixtures and furniture. This creates a similar experience whether you are accessing through the Places app or New Calendar in Outlook or the Teams calendar. You'll see support for both individual and pooled desks, and the experience is designed to be really responsive, such that it's still pretty user-friendly when it comes to mobile. This is something that we hear customers ask about constantly. I think this idea of being able to use a map to find the right space is really compelling, and it's especially compelling when you can start to see who is working near you, and that's what this next feature does. So this next set of features starts to enable you to find and book desks near colleagues, so you can see who's sitting at neighboring desks, where are they planning to sit on a specific day and book a desk near them. And I will note, I think it's really important to remember that every individual will have full control over whether their location or their desk bookings can be shared with their colleagues. So I think every user will have the opportunity to opt in or opt out of this experience. But for those that do opt in, I think it creates a really intuitive and easy way to sit next to teammates or sit next to friends or really make sure that you're sitting in a space that's going to be conducive to the most productive work for you. Okay, more desk booking features here. There have also been a number of asks from customers to do things like booking desks for multiple days at a time or booking in shorter increments rather than for an entire day. And finally, also asks around enabling EAs or other delegates to start to book desks on other people's behalfs. So very excited that all of these features are coming. And again, just really making that desk booking experience really intuitive and easy for end users, and starting to accommodate additional scenarios, as you'll see with these features. In addition, we also will offer an option to book desks kind of ad hoc or as a walk-up. And in this instance, all you need to do is walk up to an available desk, plug into the peripheral, and that action of plugging into the peripheral will automatically book the desk for you. You'll see a notification in your Teams chats indicating that you've booked the desk. But again, super easy, especially if it's a truly more flexible working environment. I think this is a really interesting solution to start to enable that kind of just-in-time desk booking. And then on the desk booking admin front, we're very excited to share that auto release will soon be available for individual desks. Users will be prompted to check in based on their desk reservations. And if they don't check in within a given time period, that desk will be auto released. I think this is especially important for organizations that may be operating with a higher ratio of employees per desk. And this enables them to, again, really take advantage of ways to optimize that space and ensure that folks are, if they're not using the desk that they have booked, that it's being released and made available for others. Another part of this involves configuring different desk modes. So with this feature, you'll be able to set up desks that are bookable, meaning they can be reserved in advance. You will be able to designate specific desks as assigned. You can also designate specific desks as offline. For example, if you are replacing the hardware on a given day or need to move desks out for a special event, you can put them offline such that they're not bookable. Or finally, you can enable this kind of walk-up booking, desk booking scenario where, again, all you have to do is walk up and plug in. So I think that is it for desk booking. I'll move on quickly to some of the admin experiences that are coming. We're very excited to share that there is a new, more user-friendly admin interface that's coming that will enable admins to manage their place's directory data. Very excited to get this out and into everyone's hands. And then finally, a couple of other admin features that are coming. First, there is a new directory onboarding feature that applies AI to help with the Place's PowerShell scripts. So that's very exciting. There's also some new built-in admin role support coming to help with kind of the day-to-day management of Places so that admins can start to assign and delegate specific roles. And then finally, there is Graph API support coming for directory objects as well. So that's a wrap on the roadmap. Before I open it up for Q&A, I will just do a couple of plugs for upcoming events. I will be the first to admit that I am not the technical expert, so I'll try my best to answer your questions today. But if you have more technical questions that would benefit from having any of our product managers or engineers weigh in, I would highly encourage you to join us. We have a weekly customer office hours session. It's every Thursday from 9 to 10 Pacific time. I'll throw the link to the meeting invite in the chat. But this is where every week we bring together customers, partners, our product team, and more. It is an open venue for questions, and it's a really valuable channel, especially if you have more technical questions that require someone with that more technical expertise. And then secondly, we also run a live demo day every month. The next demo day session is actually tomorrow morning. I believe it's at 8:30 Pacific time. I'll throw the link to register in the chat. Even if you're not able to make it tomorrow, if you are curious about seeing a product demo, I would encourage you to register, and that way you'll get the recording. Again, we run these every month. We provide a preview of the upcoming items on the roadmap, similar to what you just saw. We do run through a live demo, and then there's plenty of time for Q&A. And again, we have typically have a number of our more technical PMs on to answer more technical questions as well. So this is also a great forum to come join us, and especially if you've got questions, another great opportunity. So with that, I'll pause, I'll take a breath. Happy to take questions from anyone who wants to come off mute, or I can start working my way through the questions in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to come off mute. We've got a little bit of time if you have anything that you would like to ask directly.
While folks are thinking about it, I'll start working my way through the chat and responding. Mike, related to your question about integration for presence with real-time location systems over wireless with vendors like Cisco, Verkada, etc., nothing that we are ready to publicly share at this time, but it is very top of mind for our teams as we plan. Sherry, on your question, is it correct that Microsoft Places requires Teams Premium, or would the core features be available with a basic license? So I'll scroll back in the slides quickly. And I can send in the chat. I don't have it handy, but I'll send a link to our licensing placemat that's in the Learn documentation. I'll throw that into the chat. But all of these core features are available with qualifying M365 subscriptions. You do not need Teams Premium to leverage these so long as you have one of those qualifying subscriptions. When it gets into this set of features more related to things like Places Finder, room booking, desk booking, and so on, this is where you will start to require that Teams Premium license. Andrew, on your question, thinking about Places rollout with bookable desks, has anyone implemented and what were the biggest hurdles? I think I can speak to this at a very high level. So we have a number of customers that are in the process of rolling this out right now. I think come back to us in a couple of months and we may have many more specific hurdles that we can share. But so far, many of our customers are still in the early stages of implementation. Scott, related to your question, when this will be available in Outlook Classic Desktop, or is this all Teams and New Outlook? Today, it is all Teams and New Outlook, but what I can tell you is the team is exploring a number of different ways that we can start to introduce at least some of this functionality to the Classic Desktop experience. So good space to watch. Pete, to your comment, it would be awesome if we could flag an issue with the room and have Places automatically rebook the following meeting until the issue is solved. Could not agree more, and this is very top of mind for our teams as we start to work through additional scenarios. Sherry, to your question on how does VPN figure in with the office Wi-Fi detection, I'll admit I don't have a technical answer to this one, but would encourage you if you're interested to join the office hour session on Thursday and drop this one into the chat there, and we'll get one of the PMs to answer for you. Pete, to your question, will the @nearby tag work in channel conversations or engage posts? I will come back to you on this. Where I have seen it most used is in Teams chats, but I will come back to you with an answer on that because we should confirm that. Map visibility would be great for assigned seats too. Yes, that is coming. That is on the roadmap once those different desks modes become available. And then apologies if I missed it. Will there be any enhancements to map creation, such as support for creation in Visio? Not that we are prepared to announce at this time, but we know map creation is certainly a pain point. So again, a good space to watch. Dave, thank you for throwing that licensing placemat into the chat. Okay, and it looks like that was all the questions. Happy to take others if folks had them. Jeffrey, to your question, is there a timeline available for Places in GCC Cloud? Again, I would say watch this space. We should be sharing more on this soon.